Play the forbidden note.
Do the Mario swing!
Corrupt its sacred message.
Come on now, just like that!
Alright, who wants to watch me review the Mario movie? Well, this is it. We as a society have reached our peak of good video game movie adaptations. Well, not entirely. Also, not for now, with Sonic 3 and the FNAF movie around the corner. And not to disregard the other non-theatrical video game adaptations we've gotten so far. Other than that, yeah, the Mario movie is really good. As a video game adaptation, not a movie in general, but I'll explain later. Let's just get the pros out of the way. First of all, the animation. It's like Mario, but with ray tracing on. With that I mean the animation takes a lot from the original designs we all know and love, and gives them a pretty good balance of cartoony and realistic CGI, with a vibrant and colorful backdrop the games are known for. Which, after seeing Minions 2, that feels inevitable. Second pro is definitely the voice cast, who surprisingly did a good job capturing these characters, considering the let's hire famous celebrities who can't voice act to save their lives to promote our animated movie notion that most studios, especially Illumination, is known for. The main cast did a fair job playing out their roles, and some weren't as bad as we dreaded with that Nintendo Direct years ago.
Even though this is a Mario movie, making an appearance.
Shigeru, what the fuck?
Seth Rogen was a surprisingly good fit for DK. Keegan-Michael Key did a pretty damn good job with Toad. And while Chris Pratt is still, well, Chris Pratt.
Man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
I feel like he did fine as Mario. Not as bad as most feared, but passable enough as it is. Though I still feel that Danny DeVito would have been a better fit, but that's just me, don't ask me why. But Jack Black as Bowser. Oh my god. Jack Black as Bowser. Somebody at Illumination better have given him a raise, because he came in and embodied his performance. I mean, I'm sure everyone knew he would do a good job, but this is still a really good performance I was not expecting. Not only making the perfect balance between comedic and threatening, but his ballad for Peach in the middle and post-credit scene was just the icing on the cake. Or in this case, the superstar in the question block, but yeah, I know I forced that in. Another pro is the integration of the games itself. Seriously, this is probably the most accurate we've gotten so far. From the integration of the warp pipe which leads to different worlds, which has been taken from the Super Mario Bros. Adventures comics, I see what you're doing there, you can't hide from me, to the different kingdoms themselves, like the Jungle Kingdom and the Mushroom Kingdom, to the different obstacle courses resembling the games, to different power-ups used and how they're explained, to the not-so-subtle to subtle references to Mario's history, especially the ones hidden in the score. Seriously, I cannot express enough how the Super Show theme and the DK rap killed me and my friends in the theater. The score itself being 11 orchestral homage to the games. Seriously, Koji Kondo deserves all the credit in the world, and the fact that he's not credited in the official Wikipedia for this movie as a composer hurts me personally. Overall, this movie was an enjoyable experience as an animation fan and a once hardcore fan of the Mario franchise. Middle school me would be proud. Despite this, however, that's kind of it. It's just fun, but apparently it's not enough, especially looking at the reviews and Rotten Tomatoes score it's gotten from critics, which has caused quite a stir amongst everyone on the internet. Here's where we get into the cons of the film. First, there's the lack of story that most critics have been hounding this movie over. The story is very basic, like paper-thin basic, about Mario helping Peach and Toad save Luigi from Bowser after getting transported via warp pipe, who wants to use the power of the superstar to get Peach to marry him. You could blame the directors, who are the same guys behind Teen Titans Go, but that's not a valid argument considering both the series and the movie had a more interesting stories to tell than this film. I think it's mostly on how Illumination is really good at making very basic plots for their movies, so they can appease as many people as possible to make as much money as possible. But yeah, I kind of get it, because after thinking about it, the world building on the Mushroom Kingdom, or stuff like how Peach was a human who went down a warp pipe as a child and was raised in the Mushroom Kingdom, is only vaguely mentioned and never brought up again. It never really feels like we get to really know these characters outside the background knowledge we got from the games. I mean, yeah, the characters are basic, but I feel they could have done a little bit more. Besides Mario feeling like he's a nobody and has to prove himself to his dad or something. Wait, he has a dad? In an actual family? What is the lore? Why is nobody talking about this? Another problem I have with this movie is the superstar and how it's used in the film. Okay, so in the beginning, Bowser already claims it from the Snow Kingdom, and it's supposed to be hyped up as this all-powerful MacGuffin that can make whoever holds it unstoppable. But knowing how it works in the games, I thought what the writers were gonna do was make the user infinitely invincible, making them unkillable or something, to hype up how big of a deal it is. But it's not used until the very end, where Mario and Luigi use it to defeat Bowser, and while it's a good final fight, they still use the same video game logic where it goes away after a couple of seconds, so who cares if Bowser actually uses it? It only lasts a couple of seconds if he were to use it. It would just disappear and then they could just move on and defeat him regardless. It's just left underutilized. Also, the way they defeat Bowser also doesn't make sense, because couldn't he just hurt himself undoing the effects of the mini mushroom or something? Also, I hear people complaining about the copyrighted music they use for some scenes, which I don't know if it's because animated movies I watched growing up did this all the time, but I didn't really care. It's an Illumination movie at the end of the day, and no matter how much Nintendo has held the studio at gunpoint to make the movie good. Point is, the world building's kind of lacking, the story could have had a little more oomph to it, and some elements that could have been cool are underutilized. But I don't believe the Rotten Tomatoes score is justified, but I'm not gonna cloud my judgment like I did with another film that I'm not gonna talk about right now. And you were supposed to be a good actor and singer. Overall, the movie is a solid 7.5 out of 10. It's one of the better video game-based movies, but not as amazing as an actual film. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to mentally prepare myself for 55 minutes of crying my eyes out as the Owl House finale is dangerously close to the horizon. See ya. Update from future me, because I recorded this like a week ago. I was not mentally prepared. I'm gonna make a new video about the Owl House. It should be out by next week. I don't know.